Hello and welcome to my channel. Living free over 50 doesn't mean you have to be over 50, but I am. And so I'm at one of those transitional points in life where it is possible and it's kind of fertile ground for making change. There are several of these points in our lives. Anytime that there's a big transitional period, when you're graduating from high school, graduating from college, considering marriage, this is just a traditional kind of path. Definitely not for everyone, but I'm just saying those big times of transition, maybe after divorce, after illness, when your life is just changing in big ways. And for me, my kiddos are, my youngest is senior in high school, so my life's about to change. And so instead of kind of going along the path that I have been going along and continuing that trajectory, continuing to do what I've been doing, my goal is to do things differently and do things more intentionally and to help create this life that I want, this life of more freedom and more meaning and not being beholden to anyone or anything, whether it's a person or a job or anything like that, and really exploring, what my life is for and about, and just learning and growing along the way. So that's what this channel is really about. It's about taking those steps. My ultimate dream right now is to buy a minivan and convert it into a camper and start doing trips, and then eventually have remote work that I can do from there and really travel with the seasons and things. So that's my big thing right now. I'll have a whole stream of van life videos and stuff coming up as I progress down that journey. But for right now, I'm just getting started, and I'm doing a lot of mental work, and I'm doing a lot of work on pursuing my dream. And that's where the War of Art, The Art of War was the famous old book, a couple thousand years ago, maybe. And I forget who wrote it. I don't want to say, but anyway, everybody knows about that book. But this is The War of Art, and it is about setting aside time every day to work on your creativity, your expression, your dream, your whatever is yours to do right now. And one of the things that Stephen Pressfield talks about in The War of Art, one of the first things he references, although he doesn't name it, but he references it, is this good quote by Theodore Roosevelt. And I'm sure you've probably all heard it, but I'm just going to read a little bit of it because it's about the guy who is in the arena and not in the stands, right? And he says, "It is not the critic who counts. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, and who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming." So it's about the striving. It is about that putting yourself out there, risking something, vulnerability, going out of conditioned ways of being to create something new in your life. I love this book for that, and it has given me a framework to think about as I try to create this new life for myself. I am using Stephen Pressfield's framework here as a place to do that. So what he says basically is to set aside time. He's doing it every day. I'm laying out a week and setting aside specific time in my week, blocks of time, to work on pursuing my dream, to work on my growth as a person and as an individual, to work on being a better person, and to work toward what I want more of in my life, which is freedom and love and stuff like that. So I am moving forward. I'm using Stephen Pressfield's book. I think it can be valuable for so many of us who are on a path for growth or creating anything new, because that's basically what it's about. You don't have to be a writer or a painter, artist in a traditional sense, to benefit from this book. Anyway, I loved it. It's a very short book. You can read it in an afternoon if you want to. So there's really no reason not to. I got mine at the library, only now I'm going to have to order a copy because I have a feeling I'm going to be rereading it again and again and again. So I'm going to have my own copy. I don't often buy books to keep in my own library because I'm kind of becoming a minimalist a little bit, and I I don't want it around unless I'm going to continually read it. I've given away most of my books because I feel like their highest good is in being read by someone else, right? That's how they serve their highest purpose as a book, is to be read by someone else, not be sitting on a shelf at my house. So, love Stephen Pressfield for this. He's giving me a framework to move forward and to set aside time. And he basically says that anything that would stand in the way of you sitting down to do the work is what he calls resistance. And resistance will always be there. Resistance is just fear, and it has 1,000 different faces. It has 1,000 different ways it will come at you, and it will come at you, and it will come at you basically every day. And do it anyway. Just sit down and do the work, even if for that day your work sucks and it wasn't very productive. You sat down and you did it. And that is what counts. Another thing that Pressfield emphasizes is that the doing of the work is the end. You know how they say the means justify the ends or whatever. We can have a whole debate about whether that's true or not. But what he's saying is the power of all of this is in the doing of it. It's in the loving of the doing of it. And I can tell you, even though I haven't accomplished a single thing toward my goal really outwardly as it looks, I love myself. I'm more the hero of my own story as I am just sitting down to do the work. Like, it is the most important thing. And so that's one of the things that Pressfield's book has really done for me. And also about how I emphasized before, the resistance will keep coming, because somehow I have a story in my head that's like, if you're really meant to do it, intuition will guide you, it will pull you forward, and the resistance will kind of fall away. I don't know where I got that idea exactly, maybe toxic life coach kind of culture stuff, but it's not true. Resistance will always be there, even every day, and it is to be expected. It didn't blow my mind because everybody kind of knows that, but for me it was a game changer because I didn't make myself wrong for it being hard. I had this story that it was supposed to be easier, that it was supposed to flow, that if it was truly what I was supposed to be doing, that it would come easier. Well, not always, and sometimes not often. So keep doing the work anyway. Doing the work is what is important, and that's why I love Stephen Pressfield. I love this book. I'll do a follow-up video on this book too, to tell more of what I'm getting out of it, because I feel like it's so much of it is almost universal for anyone who's on a path of changing their life, transforming in any way, continually growing and kind of doing better. For all of us. So you're here at the end. If you like this video, then like this video for YouTube. And if you love this video, then subscribe and hit the little bell. And if you know someone who might like the video, then please share. And that's it. I'll see you again soon.